So now, I want us to move to, like, to ponder on this. Like, you know, there are many rappers when wameanza wakiwa young. Now, you started, you know, like pretty young. Form 2 is 16-year-old, and then do imeanza kuingia kwa mfuko, kuna hiyo attention yote. How does that do to you as a person? You know, socially, intellectually, did that affect like what you, the overall grade you got in the end? Did that affect your relationships with people who are close to you?
Okay. The relationship of the people close to me, as far as all that is concerned, so there's my relationship with the people and also my grades and participation. Mm-hmm. As far as wellness is concerned, there's a pillar of finances. And in all these pillars, it is key for you to have a mentor. Now, this is an area that we have failed as Africans to push the dialogue of wellness, starting with the family mountain of influence. Uh-huh. And so when it comes to finances, no one was there to mentor us, even with the money that was coming in. Mm-hmm. I'm not complaining because our mind wasn't even on money, because there was money flying around, but how to invest that money, no one was there to mentor us about that, you know. And so, of course, you know, money corrupts. And so you're 16, you're 17, you're 18, you're 19, you are constantly doing shows all over the country. You're in Nairobi, you're in Nyeri, you're in Mombasa, kidogo you're in UG, mmetoka, mmeenda mko Tanzania, kidogo mmetoka mnaenda US, mnaenda SA.
Umeskive, umeenda Kisumu.
Umeskive, umeenda Kisumu. So, do ina come, but hiyo time unafikiria, nenda rock collection, kubai nguo. And then, of course, I had siblings who were in college. So for me at that time, I was thinking, okay, I can send some money to my sisters, you know, help mom around with one or two things. But then at that point is when my mom moved to the US when I just left high school. So my mom being in the US just changed everything, because now I was alone.
Freedom.
I don't want to call it freedom. Mm-hmm. I thought it was freedom.
What do you do? What do you call it now?
I was just lost. I'll just say that I was lost. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, you know, that affected a lot, because with the kind, you know, they say the state of the nation is a reflection of the church. Mm-hmm. And so many things weren't adding up concerning my nation. Like, there was just lack of order everywhere. And so even with the education system, I had so many question marks. I was like, why are we being beaten because I don't understand this? So because I don't understand this, you're going to beat me. That was a red flag. So in my mind, I was just like, I can't wait. I'm not going to disappoint my mom because of Form 4. I'll finish this Form 4, but after this, me and my music. No one is telling me anything else. I actually got a chance of, I went and applied actually for Busoga University to pursue journalism and communication after Form 4, but I did not go. Why? Hey, we were on tour. Klepto was on tour, man. Hey, your time tulikuwa tumetoa tuendelee ama tusiendelee.
Hiyo song ilikuwa. Hiyo song, because that time, again, thinking that when you're young, you design, where you're innocently like just putting music out there.
Yeah.
And then there are these guys out there who are not even your age.
Yeah.
Ni wase wa bigi, ni wase una probably look up
yes.
to. Alafu wanaanza kukudis. Like, how was that to the young mind?
Well, they got what they deserved because they ended up giving us a hit record. Thank you to the haters. But of course it was disappointing because we were working on something that we can call our own sound.
Right.
Because at that point there was a question, okay, what's hip hop? That's not hip hop. Actually, there's a skit in the album M4E, our first album, that addresses that issue. But at that point, I was like, why are these guys hating on us? And more so, and it is something that I also had a conversation with Bamboo about. I was like, yo, bro, you guys, Maze, you impacted us. You get? Like, you guys were doing something that us guys loved. We also wanted to do that,
To partake of that.
To partake of that. So, you should have embraced us.
Was that conversation then, or?
Yeah, this was recently. This
Okay.
was recently. We kissed and made up.
Okay. Of course,
Yeah.
hata yeye siku hizi anasukuma injili.
Anasukuma injili. And again, I just go back to mentoring because perhaps no one was there to tell them about, you know, this is how you do it. So for me, because that happened, I said it stops with me. So when I turned back to look at the incoming generation and I saw the P-Units, when I saw the Camp Mullahs, I said, I'm going to embrace these guys with whatever I have. In as much as also I was unwell in terms of lacking of mentorship in different areas, the only thing I could do is support where I can. And I did what I could do at that time.
I think every time story of Klepto come up, well, we know where Nyash is and we know where you are. Roba alienda wapi?
Roba yuko. As far as Klepto is concerned, Roba ndo genius behind Klepto. So in terms as a businessman, I respect Robert Manyasa for, one, allowing God to use him to bring us together. Because in as much as Nyashinsky and I grew up together in the same hood, the way I knew Nyash was ule msezu exchanging ma video games na yeye. So nanga kwake tunacheza na come home tunacheza, but I didn't know he had a gift in music. I had no clue. I got to realize that through Roba.
That's in patch.
That's in patch. So Roba Yuko is ventured into other things. He's ventured into other areas, still within music, because he does sound. And he's a DJ too. Like, he DJs, he does sound, and they have a company that they run with the wife. They're based in Malindi, so he's in between the US and Malindi. That's his lap.
Big up Roba.
Big up Roba, Maze. We love Roba.
Maze, so I would want to ask, what would be different now if you did, in terms of sound, style, if you like did a song as Klepto?
that song about song as Klepto. I don't think there's gonna be any other Klepto song anytime soon. To be very honest.
Well, I'm not talking about like I'm not saying like Klepto the group. If you worked with Roba and Nyash.
Yes.
Wachana na Klepto.
Okay.
Ukisema mchape song na Roba na Nyash. What would be different? Would you do Klepto music? Ama, what would be different?
Actually, it's interesting because we were speaking the other day with Nyash, and I told him, if we are to ever do a song, it has to be worship. It has to be a worship song. That would be the different thing. So if we are to ever do a song with Nyash and Roba, it has to be a worship song.
What would that signify?
That will be... What would that signify? I like that. What would that signify? It would signify that after all said and done, of course through our musical experience, we don't want to point our audiences to us, but we would like to direct them to the source of our creativity.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing. And you know, I like actually I love the way your thinking, your approach to things, your analysis of things in a pay homage. You know, you're paying reverence to God. And I think kwa watu wenye walikusikiza mbeleni kaa sisi, people, of course we can tell your transformation. So with the music that you're doing and the music you will do in the future, would you say that now Collo anafanya gospel music?
Hapana. Gospel Collo afanyangi gospel music. Collo ni Christian, number one, as I'd introduce myself. And Collo anaweza do worship music, praise music in line with the gospel. Or Collo can do some meaningful secular music, whether it's to address love and give a perspective of love, yes, when we're talking even about couples, but from a biblical perspective. Because again, where are the gospel musicians to talk about what love is in marriages?
Right.
You see. So this extends to also, you know, community music as far as secular is concerned. Different situations, different circumstances, we could be addressing different topics and issues. And, you know, I thank God because even just joining back to enrolling back to study, man, you're not limited. Musically, kuna so much untapped opportunities yenye.
The horizon is endless.
Yani sasa ndo kwanza mazee, yani nafurahi career iliisha, calling ikaanza. Career ilibidiisha.
Hiyo ndo part nataka explain. What do you mean career iliisha?
Kwa ngoma yangu inaitwa Madoido, before nitoe Cheza Bigi, nilidu Madoido ni project yenye nimework na Les the Fresh na Footworks. Footworks ni producer kutoka Kibera Town Center. Special shout out to KTC na pia Art 360 Kibera. Kwa hiyo ngoma ya Madoido nasema, been there, done it all, industry take over through ministry. Pride came before the fall, grace is sufficient in humility. Me scared? Not at all. Roho Mtakatifu in the vicinity. Unaona? Naongea bado mi mchanga though mature. Mambo zigzaga still fresh kama nyua. Career ilianza 2001. Calling ndo inaiva hii 2021. Kuna difference between career na calling. Career inadu a lot na industry. Calling ni ministry. Nilikuwa na chance ya career na nilido everything that unaona wasanii na rappers wenye wametokea saa hii wenye wako, yani kuna zile vitu mimi God amenigie chance kudu yenye au hata hawezi dream. Unaona? Who would have ever thought that that young boy from Nairobi school would go and do a 26 stage tour in the US?
Wow.
Who would have ever thought that these guys would go and perform in London and fill up the place? Germany, win awards. So endorsement deals, billboards, drinks na mayenks, every pleasure you can think about, been there, done it all. So that was part of career. But it gets to a point where, what next? What next after, what next? Even when you get a testimony, after you accept salvation, it's not that nime accept Jesus, oh, life sai ni poa. Hapana, hapo ndo sasa ndo calling inaanza. So from the experience of the career, from everything I experienced, now I can begin my calling, identifying where the challenges are. Now I know, this one I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't go here. I shouldn't say this. That's when you apply everything you've learned. So I accepted Christ in 2014, but I went public in 2016. I went back to school 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020. This is 2021. Now is when I'm beginning my calling.
Okay.
In music.
In music.
Yes.
So now, kuna hiyo part unasema ume experience industry. Na now you're going into the ministry experience.
Yes.
Or you have been at it actually.
Yes.
Na okay, mtu yote tu amekuwa Kenya anajua kuna watu wamekuwa kihepa from the ministry back to the industry.
Yes.
What's up with the ministry? What's going on?
As I'd mentioned to you, the state of the nation is a reflection of the church. The church needs sweeping. And who is the church? It's families that congregate together.
Uh-huh.
So when someone runs away from the family and you run from ministry and you go into the industry, it means you don't want to confront and deal with some issues. And you think you're going to find resting in the industry. The industry will eat you up and spit you alive. So some of these young guys, for me, I'll just say it's an attitude problem, and it has a lot to do with character issues. So the personality is one thing. My advice, sit down, be taught, take time. Look at great musicians like Sinach, Nathaniel Bassey. These are people who have sat in ministry for over 20 years before they could publish any works. And when they go out there, they are unshakable. You see? So it's not just about kiki. It's not just about getting my face, kuza sura. Nah. There's a difference, clear difference. And for me, I thank God because through my experience, I know the difference between the career and the calling. So it's no longer about career because anyway, entertainment is over. There's no, I'm not saying there's no entertainment element, maybe there, but entertainment is over because we're in a transition period. The pandemic has taken over the conversation. So if you are in the creative, cultural, arts sector, people are no longer interested about being entertained. People are looking for influence and impact. And you can't go there empty.
All right.